The 2022 Billboard Music Awards air live from Las Vegas this Sunday, May 15th on NBC. And if you're not quite caught up on all of this year's biggest nominees, don't worry. Quam has you covered with a specially curated destination to get you hyped for this year's event. Quam, can you give us the grand tour?
For sure, David. Thank you. And yes, as David mentioned, the Billboard Music Awards will be this Sunday on NBC and Peacock on May 15th. The Weeknd, he leads all nominations with 17, followed by Doja Cat with 14. And some other notable nominees include Justin Bieber, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, and Olivia Rodrigo. I know David's, favorites. In this destination, you'll be able to see some top past performances from The Weeknd, Beyonce, Bruno Mars. You'll be able to see some of the great nominees, such as the top artists, the Hot 100 songs, and one of my personal favorite categories, the Billboard 200 albums. These titles, these nominee names are just so random sometimes. I think they base it off of the actual charts. But you'll be able to see all these nominations and more just by saying Billboard Music Awards into your Xfinity voice remote. But I want to get the opinions of David and Gordon, since I know they're music experts in their own right. Who do y'all think will win some of these top nomination categories?
So Gordon and I know a thing or two here about sick beats and killer bops, even in our old age. And I know that you picked 3 of these BBMA's categories for us to predict. What is the first category that we're actually looking at here?
For sure, we're going to look at top artists or best artists, is how we have it named here, that feature Doja Cat, Drake, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, and The Weeknd. But David, who do you have as your top artist?
So I think it looks like Gordon and I picked the exact same artist here, and It is Olivia Rodrigo. No surprise. And this is going back to our debate we had for the best of 2021 a few months ago. But I mean, who had a better year than Olivia Rodrigo? She starred in Disney Plus series High School Musical, the series. Even though it's a terrible title, she was in it. She performed at the VMAs, the Grammys, on Saturday Night Live. Time named her 2021 Entertainer of the Year. Billboard named her Woman of the Year in 2022. She won 3 Grammy Awards. She had 8 songs on Billboard's Global 200 chart, and according to Billboard, ended 2021 as the best-selling singles artist worldwide. She inspired TikTok videos, Halloween costumes, and basically became a pop culture phenomenon seemingly overnight. Does any of that qualify her to win top artist? I have no idea, but there's a case to be made, and that's the case I'm making. Gordon?
My understanding is that we're going to give our picks, and then Quam's going to tell us what's actually going to happen. David, he's a cerebral guy. He went with his brain. I went with my gut. I'm going to tell you a little story. The year was 1999. I was on my way to my buddy's house to watch SummerSlam, the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin against Triple H against Mankind. And I heard a little ditty on the radio called Mambo Number 5. And wow, did it just blow me away. I'm like, this guy's going to be huge. Everybody's going to be singing this about a little bit of Monica and Jessica, etc. And that's kind of how I go with my gut. And the first time I heard her song "Good for You" on the radio, I was like, who is this person? This song is an absolute banger. I think that's the term the kids use these days. And I actually bought that song, which, to get me to spend money on music, doesn't happen anymore. But I needed it for my jogging playlist. And I'm like, this young lady is going to be a star. And then as part of research for this project, I listened to her entire album, and I am pretty confident. When you take David's long list of accolades and my gut, I think Olivia Rodrigo is taking home Artist of the Year. What do you think, Quam?
Well, first, Gordon, stop buying songs. Get Spotify or Apple Music or Pandora, a streaming service.
It was like $1.29.
You do not need to spend money on each individual song anymore.
I'm the gaming editor at Comcast. I think I can afford $1.29 for a song.
Oh, excuse me. He's getting paid, y'all. That's what he's saying. But I'm happy to say that both of y'all are correct. Olivia Rodrigo is the top artist of the year. I mean, David, for all the reasons you mentioned, she had the biggest year. She literally came out of and Gordon. Well, Gordon,
what about my gut,
your gut?
What about my gut?
I love your gut, Gordon. But David came with receipts. But I mean, it's undeniable. She kind of just bursted onto the scene and just never let go of the chokehold she had over music. You know, it was first Driver's License, and then Good for You, aka Misery Business by Paramore. But we're not going to talk about that. But even her album was sold really well, and you couldn't escape her. Like David said, she was all over TikTok, all over the radio. Even Gordon heard her. Gordon bought her song. When you have people buying your music, literally currency. Buying your music, purchasing music,
legal tender.
Legal tender. There's no doubt in my mind that she's going to win top artist. And you know me, I am dripping in objectivity. I would love to give it to Doja Cat, but alas, I have to give it to Olivia Rodrigo.
But On the Record is a great name for your talking about music, but dripping with objectivity. It's got a ring to it.
We need that T-shirt. We need a Quam dripping in objectivity T-shirt. Just like Scott's I've chartered yachts T-shirt.
Scott's I've chartered yachts.
I'd also go for a Quam loves Gordon's gut T-shirt while we're throwing out ideas. The merch, we're going to be rolling in. I can buy all the songs I want with the merch money that's going to be rolling in.
Yeah.
We're all going to be rich. I cannot lie. I did not come up with that term. I have to shout out Nick Wright, who's a sports analyst, but that's besides the point. Next, we are talking about the top album of the year, which featured some great albums such as Adele's 30, Doja Cat's Planet Her, Drake's Certified Lover Boy, which wasn't that great, Morgan Wallen's Dangerous album, the double album. It's a terrible name. Olivia Rodrigo's Sour. And again, I want to get y'all opinions. Who do y'all think will win top album of the year?
Did we pick the same album again?
I think we did.
Folks out there, we did this secretly, so we didn't.
But
we
were right. We were right before.
Since Quam just roasted you so hard in the last segment, I'm not going to point out that you said you had a visceral reaction to Mambo Number 5.
What? Look, I don't like to dance. I'm not a dancer. But when my toe starts tapping in my car, listening to that to me is like he's on to something. So, and Lou Bega, he went on to be the biggest artist of all time. So clearly I was in the right. So.
You're right.
Clearly not a hyperbolic.
So I went with Olivia Rodrigo's Sour. She received a Grammy nomination for Best Album, but lost to John Batiste. Doja Cat was the only other artist in this category who was also nominated for Best Album at the Grammys. And so with John Batiste out of the way, I think Olivia has a clear path for victory. Sour also won Album of the Year People's Choice Awards and Best Pop Vocal Album at the Grammys. And the album spent 5 non-consecutive weeks at the top of the Billboard 200 list. So I think that's why she takes it. What do you think, Gordon?
Again, David with the facts and me with my thoughts. I good for you is just I love a great you broke up with me and screw you kind of song. And then just there was she just went a bunch of different places. So I don't know how to, judging music to me is kind of difficult. You either feel it or you don't. And I enjoyed a lot of the other albums, but that's the one that just stood out to me. And as we've learned, my gut is 100% correct. So I'm anxious for Quam to tell me that I'm right again.
Well, Gordon, I'm sorry to break it to you, but your gut is not always 100% correct. And I'm sorry to tell y'all, this is not the top album of the year. In regards to the billboards, so based off the billboards, they want to go off of who sold the best plus quality. And with that in mind, I cannot not give it to Adele's 30. It's sold so much, easily the best-selling album of 2021. Maybe that's because it was her big return, maybe because she had so much to talk about. But even sonically, the album was, to me, great. I've never been the biggest Adele fan. I thought she's been a little overrated in her career, but 30 was definitely the album that kind of won me over with her vulnerability, her switch up in just overall music style, some of the voice inflections she was doing on a lot of the tracks within the album. And again, it's sold so well that I just think it's going to win, top album of the year or Billboard 200 album, as they would they name it. But again, I'm dripping in objectivity, and so I cannot tell a lie. It's going to win the best album, and Sour is a great choice. I understand, David, why you would choose Sour. Gordon, I thought you would have went in a different direction, but unfortunately, you disappointed me. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to move forward.
I'll be the first one to say I love that song Adele sung about being heartbroken.
That's every song.
I think. Oh yeah, it's like that Mariah Carey song about love. That's my favorite song, the one she sings about love.
Well, I would say in this instance, it was justified for her to be heartbroken in the sense that she's going through a divorce, and it's a very turbulent time in her life. I don't know what was going on in her life in the other albums. I'm pretty sure she was actually in love, so it was kind of like, are you really singing about heartbreaks and you're in love? Sounds, if I was her lover, I'd be like, whoa, I'm doing all these nice things for you, but here you are saying I'm rolling in the deep. Like, no, come on, please. For this album,
Adele in a good mood does not sell.
No, it does not. We will never know though, because she's never in a good mood. But on to the next category, the last category, the most important category.
She's gonna be so mad.
If she ever sees this, she's like, "Who is that Quam fellow?" That's my British accent. It was terrible.
Spot on impression.
It was terrible. I don't do accents for a reason. They're awful. But the most important category, top song, Hot 100 song, as they name it, and it features names like, again, Olivia Rodrigo's "Good for You," Doja Cat's "Kiss Me More," Dua Lipa's "Levitating," The Kid Laroi "Stay" featuring Justin Bieber, and The Weeknd and Ariana Grande "Save Your Tears." And I've started with David a few times, and so now I'm gonna start with Gordon.
Did we pick the same thing again?
Oh my gosh!
Music buddies. That's us.
Music buddies.
My relationship.
Collusion.
My relationship with modern music is very much, I listen to the radio, so I will hear a song a million times and not know the title or who sang it. So when you sung it, who performed it? There we go. So when you send us the titles to look through, I went through YouTube and listened to each song, and I'm like, oh, I know this. Oh, I know this. I know this. And you would think I would go with the song that I ponied up $1.29 to have on my jogging playlist, but I didn't, because like you mentioned, Olivia Rodrigo's "Good for You," there was some controversy where it sounded like a Paramore song, and it does. So I think they would not give her this award based on that. So based on the other four songs, Dua Lipa's "Levitating," that one really got to me, got my toe tapping, and I listened to my gut and I listened to my toe. So my pick is Dua Lipa's "Levitating."
That is also my pick, and I'll never forget the way I felt the first time I heard Aqua's "Barbie Girl." It just got into my soul, and because of that, that reminds me the way I felt when I saw
Barbie Girl. Not Barbie Girl.
David's like, I'm gonna give Gordon's hair a pass this episode, but I'm gonna make fun of how he feels about Mama Number 5.
But I agree with you though, Gordon. I thought the same thing about the Misery Business tie-in. Like, it seems like that will hurt her, I think, in this category. And even though I spent the last 10 minutes praising Olivia Rodrigo, I love this Dua Lipa song. Yeah. And even though Olivia was everywhere last year, "Levitating" was one of those hot girl summer anthems that just like gets into your veins, even when you're not a hot girl and even when it's not summer. So I actually like Dua's music more than Olivia's, like in total. I think she should take this. Like, this was just a great song. And if not Dua, I'd say it should go to Doja Cat's "Kiss Me More Honestly," and I know that's what Quam picked as the song. I'm almost positive.
Davey, you know me too well. And by the way, we all can be hot girls, okay? It's a hot girl summer. It's approaching. Get ready. But honestly, and I'm conflicted because my heart and my guts, as Gordon would say, is choosing Doja Cat's "Kiss Me More" because that is my hot girl anthem of last summer. It will be my hot girl anthem of every summer going forward because it's just so great and I love it so much. But I am dripping in objectivity, and I cannot tell a lie. It is good for you because, darn it, that song was just everywhere. It went viral. It was number one for so long. And again, this is the Billboards, and they're basing off their own charts. And no other song was bigger than "Good for You" that year. The only competition I could see is "Easy on Me" by Adele, and for some reason that wasn't nominated. So very weird choice. They nominated her album, but not her biggest song. I don't get it. But if it's not Adele's song, then it has to be Olivia Rodrigo's song. If the Billboards would have do right by Kwame though and David, they will choose "Kiss Me More." Definitely not Levitating. This wasn't even Dua Lipa's best song on the album, let alone one of my favorite Dua Lipa songs. It's definitely not the choice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to y'all.
What's the best song on her album? I'm curious what you think. What is the best song?
Hold on. I'm
personally, I think that the Sixth Dimension song should have been nominated.
Pretty Please. Pretty Please. That song is so
Pretty Please.
Pretty Please. That's my song.
More singing.
Please.
I didn't make it a TikTok hit.
More singing.
It's a TikTok hit. I didn't decide it. It's just happening now. All right. The Billboard Music Awards air live May 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC. To check out the show or explore this year's nominees, just say Billboard Music Awards into your voice remote.